Cow dung is the most useful fertilizer in the world. We are using it from thousands of years to grow food. But in home gardening, we can't just use cow dung directly in our potted plants. Use of fresh cow dung many times shows severe effects. So in this video, we will see some of the most safe ways to use cow dung fertilizer for our plants. So let's begin, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. First of all, we should know about cow dung. So cow dung is simply the excreta of cow only. The excreta of other related animals won't count as cow dung. Fresh cow dung is 70% moisture with traces of organic matter, a lot of plant required nutrients like NPK and some trace elements. The pH of cow dung is around 7 to 8, which is good for most plants. Proper use of cow dung do a lot of good for plants and soil, but basically it's a fertilizer containing NPK elements with more nitrogen and lesser phosphorus and potassium. Cow dung contains a greater amount of nitrogen, and nitrogen creates heat when applied to the soil. So this can simply burn the roots and sometimes burn the whole plant. On the other hand, nitrogen presence is also helpful because everything you see green on a plant came out because of nitrogen. Nitrogen promotes vegetative growth like leaves, stems, etc. In the ground, farmers use cow dung directly, which is not an issue for them because one, they don't add cow dung when there are plants in the field, and second, ground is a bigger thing that can absorb this much of nitrogen inside of it very easily, unlike the soil of a small pot. So that's why farmers use fresh cow dung, but when we use it on a potted plant, the plant burns out overnight. But don't worry, we have the solution. But first, subscribe to our channel for more tips and tricks. There are a few ways to reduce the heat of cow dung and make it usable for our potted plants. The first and the most simplest way to use cow dung is to let it dry out completely. When you see the cow dung is dried, you can crush it into a powdered form like this and use a small amount for plants. Drying reduces around 30 to 40% of the nitrogen from the cow dung, making it a bit safer to use. This dried form of cow dung is also available to buy from the description box link. Dried cow dung can be used in a small amount. Ideal dose would be a handful for a gallon of soil media only once a month. And avoid using cow dung in hot months of the year like June and July. Another simple way to use cow dung for plants is by composting. When decomposed, the nitrogen of cow dung again reduces, and this makes it safer to use on a potted plant. When we use some manure, it decomposes under the soil and then it became absorbable by the roots. So in case of a composted cow dung, it's already decomposed, means you will see the results of cow dung within days. It's very easy to make a compost out of cow dung. Simply follow the description box video to know about that. Composting of a dried cow dung reduces up to 50% of nitrogen, while composting of fresh cow dung reduces only 10% of the nitrogen. You can use around a handful of cow dung compost for a gallon of soil media only once a month. One way to use cow dung is to make a liquid fertilizer out of it. The fermented form of cow dung absorbs into the roots very quickly, and if you use dried cow dung to make the liquid fertilizer, it's also very safe to use. You can use it even twice a month. Simply add a handful of dried cow dung or cow dung cakes in a liter of water. Place it in a shade for a few days. When all the cakes or powder settles down in the water, then you can use this. Dilute this fermented liquid with 10 parts of more water and then use for a plant. 100 ml for a 5 inches pot is enough. Use once a month in hot seasons. You can even use this liquid as a foliar spray for house plants. Safe use of cow dung have a lot of benefits like a lot better leaf growth, stronger stems, bigger and shiny leaves, bushier plant, stronger immune system, improved soil health, more microbes in the soil, etc. So overall, cow dung is the fertilizer we shouldn't miss. It works like a miracle, so just give it a try. Following a correct way, we can use cow dung on any plant ranging from seedlings to trees, seasonal vegetables to flowering and fruiting vegetables, houseplants to cacti and succulents. All plants get benefits from cow dung use. For a small plant, use lesser. For a bigger plant, use only a little bit more. Avoid the use of cow dung in June and July, and follow this video to know about other nitrogen-rich organic fertilizers. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel.